Hey guys, Jano Zero, how you doing? I hope all is well in YouTube land, whatever part of the world that you are in. Yes, I know I need to trim my whiskers, so don't give me no crap about it. I know, fuzzy. Okay, the fall garden. I was going to plant peas back in the summer, but something just told me that I wasn't going to have enough time, and I'm glad I didn't, because I didn't have enough time. Today, I think, is the 5th of October, and we had a hard frost and a freeze last night. And yesterday morning, which would have been the 4th of October, when I was out doing my morning chores, it was actually sleeting on me. Never seen it that early before, but you know, it is what it is. The weather has been kind of crazy. And the potatoes that we planted, let's show you here. The potatoes that we planted here in our potato box, bear with me while I try to look at my screen here. They didn't do anything. Sorry about the wind. We got one little bitty plant right here, but it's not gonna, I'm quite sure it's not gonna do anything. Not quite sure. The ones that I put in the barrel, remember the ones that I planted in the barrel, did not do anything at all. They didn't even sprout. So, you know, like I say, when you're trying to garden, it's a gamble sometimes whether or not it's going to happen. I think, you know, there was a lot of people who had a lot of suggestions on, you know, planting the potatoes and whatnot. But potatoes are one of the easiest things to grow, and I really was hoping that we would get a fall, you know, fall crop of potatoes, but it just didn't happen that way. So there may be down in the garden there's a couple of plants. We may get maybe a handful of the small new potatoes, but you know, I don't know. I think I should have listened, you know, to this guy right here.
As an expert taterologist, Spud Tech, 1982, I am here to tell you, you are doing this all wrong.
That was at my Uncle Buck, Buck Run 11. I'll put a link to his channel down in the bottom. He's a good dude, man. He's a really good dude. But you know, it just is what it is. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. The weather has been, you know, we had some hot, a couple of weeks of really hot about a month ago, and then we had some really cool, and now it's really cold. And I've already got my long sleeves on, as you can see, and throwing my winter scruff out to keep me warm. It's just one of them things. Like I say, you know, now again, I apologize for the wind. So it's just one of them things. But I've also had a lot of people kind of give me a little bit of crap about my wood chip garden. But you know, when I spread these wood chips out over the big main garden for a couple of reasons. I'm not concerned about the weeds. I'm not concerned about, you know, any of that kind of stuff. For me, these wood chips are going to hold in moisture. I'm going to put a couple more loads in here, and we're going to smooth it out and level it all out. And then on top of the wood chips, you guys remember I raise a couple hundred chickens a year for meat, and we have rabbits and we have goats, and then right down the road I've got a cattle farm, and there's also a little bit of a horse farm down there. So once I get this as thick as I want it and get it leveled out, then I'm going to put chicken manure, rabbit manure, horse manure, and cow manure on top and spread it all out evenly. And then I'll let it sit all through the winter time and all through the early spring, you know, and the late fall, and it'll get rained on and snowed on, and it'll seep and soak down into the wood chips. And then next spring, when I come in, I will not till. I'll just plant directly into these wood chips here, and I'll continue to do that. Next year, when the garden is done, I'll put another layer of wood chips on, and then another layer of manure, and that's how, you know, it may not be a stupendously great garden next year, but over the course of a couple of years, this is going to be very fertile, very fertile and very good dirt that's going to hold the moisture. And like I said, I'm not too awful concerned about, you know, weeds. Yeah, the weeds will come up easy, but that's not the reason that I'm doing it. I'm doing this to create a good, rich, black dirt to where I can have a really good garden section. So there you go. There you have it. That's my plan for the garden and for the wood chips. I hope that makes sense to you guys. I believe wholeheartedly that that's going to work. I realize that the wood chips are going to soak nitrogen out of the soil, but with me putting 2 chicken houses worth of manure back onto that, that's a lot of nitrogen that I'm going to be putting back in there. And yes, chicken manure is a hot manure, and so is cow manure to some extent. But over the course of the winter time, the rest of the fall and the winter and the early spring, as it gets rained on and it gets, it gets cold and it settles in, it will cool off enough to where everything will be fine come the springtime. And we'll just have to wait and see, and we'll see come planting season. So there you go, guys. I wish my potatoes would have done something, but they didn't, and it happens sometimes. We'll get on it back in the spring. We'll start planting in the spring, and we'll go from there. So guess that's it for now. You guys, thank you very much for all the suggestions. Thank you very much for all the views. You guys have a great day. God bless. In the end. Buzz, buzz, the end.